everybody, it is Steve, your friendly neighborhood lawn gnome. Welcome to another video over here on That's Comical, and of course, if you happen to be watching on a Wednesday, happy new comic book day. So today, especially since I can actually say this in front of the camera because I've been writing this a lot in the last couple of MCU TV show review description boxes, as we now officially are counting down to the next wave of MCU shows, starting with Moon Knight starring Oscar Isaac, this is me coming to you guys as I catch up on all of the MCU shows. So today, we're going to be taking a look at apparently one of the most successful ones next to Loki, and that is the animated series called What If, starring the voice of Jeffrey Wright as the well-known character The Watcher, which makes me very excited, especially because of the fact that we know the Fantastic Four are officially getting brought into the MCU very, very soon, but also starring a great deal of the cast that was featured in live action in the MCU, especially the late Chadwick Boseman, as we say goodbye to Chadwick Boseman as he gives us his final performances as King T'Challa, though in this specific show, not necessarily King T'Challa. So what exactly is What If? Well, I will say that when they first announced it, I got a little excited, even though I had no access to Disney+, because What if you know anything about it, is a comic book series that was created a couple of years ago, very similarly to DC's Elseworlds. It is a comic book series that got canceled, but just last year was brought back with a story called Spider-Man Spider's Shadow, written by Chip Zdarsky, and it is basically a glimpse into alternate universes and seeing what actually happens to our heroes and villains in said universes. And we are about to get a second What If series about Miles Morales very, very soon in the world of comics. So if you want to read up on What If, definitely check out Spider's Shadow and pick up the new What If Miles Morales if you wish. I haven't actually seen any of the older What If series books, but I do know that there was a great deal that was derived from this with a little bit of the MCU mixed in. So we got various stories that would soon interlock in a grand finale, and we saw some very interesting things as we wait for the multiverse to truly open up. We get episodes on this show like, what if Captain America was not Steve Rogers, but rather it was Peggy Carter, and it was Captain Carter, or I'm really surprised they didn't call her Captain Britain, even though we do know that there is a Captain Britain in the comics, we do in fact understand why, and because of the success of the show, Captain Carter is going to get her own comic book series as well. But we also get something that pays tribute to Marvel Zombies, we get an amazing Doctor Strange story, we see what happens if T'Challa was taken by the Ravagers and he became one of them, and instead of going on the throne in Wakanda. So many interesting things happen with the characters that we know and love. So what were my overall thoughts on this show? Well, I gotta say that I didn't enjoy it as much as most people, but there were definitely some episodes that really did stand out for me. The two that I truly did enjoy were the Doctor Strange episode, which also did feature Benedict Cumberbatch voicing Doctor Strange, in which he is trying to save his love, and no matter what he does, no matter how hard he tries, she still keeps finding her end in death, and it gets to the point where the only way that he feels that he can truly be omnipotent is to absorb as much magic as he can and become like an omnipotent monster. It was such an interesting and heartfelt story, but extremely, extremely sad. And then you got a really lighthearted one where what if Thor was not someone who wanted to be the God of Thunder, rather he just wanted to party and goof off, and he basically comes to Earth and just turns Earth into one big rave. It is funny, you have Chris Hemsworth, you got Kat Dennings, you got Natalie Portman coming back, Tom Hiddleston voices Loki. It was definitely the most fun that I had with this series, but overall there were some stories that I really didn't care for, even though I did find them to be clever. I also believe that many of them really had a lot of death, and I didn't understand why death just had to be the big element of the stories that we saw in What If. But it was also very interesting to see how the Watcher, who is telling the stories, because the Watcher is a cosmic being that just watches things that happen, and yet we all know as comic book readers that sometimes the Watcher just cannot stop from getting involved. So the last episode is, what if the Watcher got involved? And Jeffrey Wright voicing the Watcher, great idea. I really hope that they bring him back if they decide to bring the Watcher into the Fantastic Four film or film series in the MCU, because clearly we fans know that they're coming and we know what the Fantastic Four are linked to. But I will still say, like every Marvel show, each and every one of them deserves a chance. Clearly this one got a chance because, like Loki, What If is also going to be getting a second season. So I will definitely say that I am curious as to what's going to happen. I mean, to be honest, I really hope that we get some more MCU movies under our belts and some more TV shows under our belts, so maybe we'll see some very interesting things. But either way, What If? It's okay. It's not terrible. The first season was not bad. Definitely some highlights, but some that I really didn't care for. But either way, those are my thoughts on What If, everybody. Please put your comments in the box below and let's have a discussion, and I will see you in the next one.